This program is brought to you by the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, carrying passengers behind authentic steam engines since 1882. Now it's time to find the fun in Southwest Colorado.
You're watching Durango TV News. I'm Jordan Alexander.
And I'm Ashley Dixon. If you had a bucket list, what would you do? If you're Jim Hutchens and John Lemansky, you'd want to join the 200 Club. That's the 200-mile-an-hour club at the Bonneville Salt Flats this summer. Hutchens and Lemansky, both retired and in their 70s, rebuilt a 1967 Camaro and hope to break a speed record by driving the classic car over 250 miles an hour at the Bonneville Speed Races this summer. Here's their story.
Well, we bought or built this car for the last 2.5 years to take it to the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah. Bonneville Salt Flats, if you don't know, is one of 2 places in the world that you can go for land speed records annually. We've been going up to Bonneville spectators for the last few years. The reason they picked Bonneville for land speed records is because it is so flat. Thought it would be a good bucket list for Jim and I to build a car. So we started it out 2.5 years ago. Well, this car was behind this shop, and the owner of the shop had purchased it to restore it just as a street car. And as you can see with the car, it's in a near stock condition. It must run headlights, taillights, bumpers. It has to be a steel-bodied car, and it has to be all in an original condition. It has dual fire systems. It has a fire bottle that takes care of the engine compartment in case there's a fire that's switched on by the driver. There's also a fire bottle for the interior of the car that if the fire gets to the interior, you can switch that and it'll put the fire out.
This engine here is a 500 cubic inch Mark IV Chevy big block. The pan doesn't hold any oil. This is where all the oil is in this can here. And we have a special pump that is belt driven that pumps it through the engine. We specially built these headers out of stainless steel. We redid the front suspension. It's got adjustable A-arms where we can adjust the caster and camber. These switches here are for the electrical, fuel, and water. This is the starter switch. This is the air shifted for the 4-speed transmission. It's a special belt transmission by B&J Racing Transmissions. This one up here is a parachute. It's a special built fuel cell. It's got if the car ever did wreck, tipped over, it's got where fuel won't go out anywhere. The batteries mount right here. This is an inertia switch that will shut off all the electrical to the fuel pump, especially the fuel pump, and the electronics on the engine if it does crash.
Here's what we know. We know we could crash. So we build it where we won't die.
Hutchens, Lemansky, and the Spirit of Durango will be at the annual Durango Motor Expo on Saturday, June 20th in downtown Durango. Or you can visit their website at spiritofdurango.com.
This program is brought to you by the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, carrying passengers behind authentic steam engines since 1882.